Hello, happy Frequency and Flow Friday. This space is devoted to helping you raise your frequency so you can live in optimal flow. And it is a pleasure to be here with you today in a Waxing Gibbous Moon in Gemini before a full moon that is coming up next week. So feel welcome to read all about that here. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and see how you're doing. So think about the week that you just had. Think about the week that is upcoming. Think about your weekends, how you want to spend some time today, maybe being in analysis, though don't get analysis by paralysis. Think about communication and optimism and preparation and what is to come. And choose position 1, 2, or 3. Okay, how can we support you to raise your frequency so you can live in optimal flow? If you're choosing position 1, the card you get is here. It is reflection. So there we go. So tune into this. Firstly, I want to say by inviting every person, place, and thing to be a reflection of you can be very helpful in terms of frequency. So if you're seeing optimism in people, if you're seeing a confident communication and a good communication in your relationships, I would say that that is a high frequency, it's a high frequency space. To whereas if you are looking at and to your relationships and other people as, maybe difficulty in conversation or communication, maybe being a little pessimistic, maybe not looking at situations with full optimism, especially where your family is concerned, if you're choosing this position, then do a little self-reflection. Can you shift your perspective? Self-reflection, mirror. Can you shift your perspective? See things more optimistically? Can you use this time to really go inward and feel into, how can I shift this? How can I use a mirror and shift it? How can I see through smoke and mirrors? And, really be empowered to raise your own frequency based on your mind and your perception and how you're seeing things in relationships. And, if you're ruminating over those relationships, that speaks a lot too. Okay, if you're choosing position number 2, we're going to go to the middle of the deck somewhere. We get faith. So finding angels in the heart. So this keeps coming up. I feel like it has come up the past couple weeks. So first things first with this one, I would say, get out of the ego mind. If you kind of similar to position 1 actually, but when it comes to perception or you're feeling like trapped or you're feeling fearful or you're like overly focused on the material world and the actual earth plane, or you're overly focused on suffering, so it is a very similar, it's a similar message to position 1. So I'm actually going to choose a support card to this, especially given that we went to the middle of the deck. But my eye really goes to the rainbow, just remembering, that there's a promise to all of us and that we all deserve to live abundantly. And the support card that we get is feeling. So maybe this is not so much about your knowing and ruminating in your mind, but taking time out to visualize, to let your body really feel high vibe, to pay attention to the feelings that are kind of coming in and through you, because every feeling has a frequency as well. So if you are feeling, not satisfactory, if you are feeling opposite of faith-based, then that's going to have an impact. So pay attention to your feelings, because your feelings really create your experiences. So we want to choose to feel in each moment a high frequency, a high vibe and high frequency feeling. So pay attention to your feelings. So maybe position 1 is more about thought, and position 2 is raising your frequency with your feeling. And you can spend time to actually visualize, be silent and go into that. And then finally, if you're choosing position number 3, I'm going to shuffle 3 times. We get light, but we get light upside down. And so when light comes in upside down, sometimes this can be about like seeing the shadow and really like, it's like, oh, that wasn't right. That wasn't fair. And what I would say to this is to stand up for the light. You have a light that is within your heart, and we want that light to be the light to shine forward and not lead from the shadowy place of like seeing duality and seeing things as that's not fair and that's not right. So how do we kind of flip this message to let your heart shine forward? And I would also ask you, how are you not letting your heart's truth shine forward? How can you illuminate your path and others people's path, your path and other people's path, by simply honoring the torch that is in your heart to shine forward? I would also say, with frequency wise, make sure that if you have lights that are actually out in your space, headlights, car lights, anything like that, to address them, to fix them, to correct them. So there we have it. Again, read all about the moons here. And if you're into the moons, which I clearly am, I invite you to join me for the Lunar New Year coming up on the 27th. It's going to be the last, I think it's the last Monday. It's right before the Lunar New Year. I'll triple check here just to be sure, but I know that it is the Monday. Yep, it's right before the Lunar New Year's on kind of that, the 28th, 29th is going to be the new moon, and then we are going to gather the 27th. Even if you can't be live, that is recorded. It is a really awesome programming and masterclass. It's going to help you to flow with the moon cycles and really inspire your creativity to come out of you this year. So I hope to see you there if it calls. Sending you so much lunar light.